This is the Bolts Breakdown Podcast. My name is Boomer,
My name is Tommy.
and today's episode is going to be a fun one. We're talking about Tampa Bay Lightning records in
Mhm.
single games. So we're
Yeah.
talking like most hits, most goals, who's had the most blocked shots. We're talking about how many penalties is the most penalties the Tampa Bay Lightning have ever had in a game. What's the highest scoring game? Things like that. All the
Yeah.
crazy moments from the previous 33 years of Tampa Bay Lightning existence. That's what
Mhm.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
I'm
before we get to
excited.
any of that, Tommy, let's, as we've done for the entire offseason, let's talk about current news. So there's not a
hmm
lot of news for the Lightning. Actually, the only news since the last podcast released is, do you know who Pierre-Édouard Bellemare is, Tommy?
Yes, I saw this news that he's coming in as a player development specialist.
Yep.
Yes.
He's coming
Yeah.
back to the Lightning organization, which we see all the time. So this is anyone who doesn't know that name, that's a former player for the Lightning. He's got a kind of unique journey to the NHL, and he played for the Bolts, and it wasn't too many games, like 150 games with the Bolts type deal, but he's coming back to Tampa Bay, and he's hired as a player development specialist. He'll be training forwards specifically and working with the Syracuse Crunch staff to help develop these forwards and these prospects that we drafted, players we talked about last week and the previous weeks. But
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
exciting. Do you have
Yeah.
any thoughts about Tommy? Isn't it weird how all the previous players are coming back to the Lightning organization? Like we've talked about Pat
Yeah.
Maroon, he's back.
Mhm.
Like Dave Andrechuk, he had so many teams in his NHL career, but he's in Tampa, right? So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
cool that all these players choose Tampa Bay.
I know. I think it's cool. I mean, I would too, right? I guess biased, but it is cool. I mean, they're Braden Coburn, yeah, Pat Maroon, Dave Andrechuk, pretty much like 90% of the guys who are on the broadcast, right,
Right.
for the Bolts are former players. But then also it's cool to see these guys, like a Pierre-Edouard, who's like coming back to develop players, right? So he's not necessarily going to be kind of front and center like maybe Pat Maroon or Dave Andrechuk is, but he's going to be part of the organization in the background and helping players develop. I remember when he was playing for a team, and just another role player on the team. It's cool to just kind of see the names back in the blue and white, and yeah, I don't know, it's exciting. It's cool to just kind of see how it's like a community, and how it continues to build on itself. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
really and the franchise is relatively newer, right? It's only 30 something years old, and compared to some other franchises that are like 100 years old or whatever it is, it feels like maybe not that old, but yeah, it's just cool to see that. So
Yeah, it is. I think it was. I don't want to attribute it to the wrong person, but I believe it was on Power Lunch, and Ben Pierce was on Power Lunch with Dave Mishkin and Greg Linelli. So I think one of them said it, but they were talking about how vital it is for a guy like Pierre Edouard to come into the Lightning organization and be able to tell these guys who maybe aren't like Dylan Duke, for instance. He's been battling to make the NHL for a couple of years now, and to be able to look at him and say, "Hey, it's never too late. Like keep working, keep grinding." And maybe your NHL shot will come one of these days, right? So I think, I
mhm.
mean, that kind of like leadership and inspiration is vital for an organization. And so I'm excited. I mean, I don't know that we'll ever be able to pinpoint like, hey, that's who made the difference unless a player like
Yeah.
comes out and says it. But I think adding these character players, right? These people who have worked hard to get to where they've gotten, it just helps, right? It helps all these prospects. It helps the character in the room. It helps just the organization as a whole because you put good people all in the same spot, good things are going to happen, and
Yeah.
that's what I think about this hiring. So
I think that so many of our good core players have come from development that I think adding to the development piece of the puzzle is just a real big key. Not all teams are like that, and so I kind of think about how it's similar in something like college football, where now it's so much transfer focus of like people moving around and free agents, but the Lightning as an organization have shown to be one that develops their players and builds a squad that can win. So yeah.
I want to ask you, Tommy. So along those lines, like the Lightning can develop players, and we turn like Andre Plotz into legends, right? And it's like that was a seventh round draft pick. How did you do that? Or
Yeah.
Charles Dessous, current example. So the Lightning are pretty good at that, but across the NHL, there's like star players demanding trades. There's like players getting $18 million offer sheets, right? And so did you hear about that? Leo Carlsson
No,
from Anaheim. So
no.
he was offered an $18 million offer sheet from the Flyers, which he signed. Of course, that makes him the highest paid player in the league. And the Anaheim Ducks matched the offer sheet. So he's staying in Anaheim, which is where his original team. But it's like all these players are switching teams, or all these players are chasing the big bucks. And you see like Tampa Bay just making solid signings, depth signings that turn into legends. And it's like, I don't know. It points to the caliber of the organization. And honestly, it just makes me really excited to be a Lightning fan, because it's like we don't have the drama that the Red Wings have losing their general manager. I don't know if you saw that today. Steve Yzerman was fired. And
Wow.
so he's out. Like the Chicago Blackhawks, like they got Connor Bedard, the face of the NHL, and he's kind of struggling. Like they're not moving. They're making all these signings that people are questioning. I don't know. It's just encouraging signings like, or hirings like Pierre-Édouard to focus on development just encourages me in the face of all the NHL, because the Lightning are just an organization that values doing things the right way, hiring the good people, putting in the hard work, and then the results come. And it's like,
hmm
it's just really easy to be a fan of an organization like that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I hear people who work for them, work for the Lightning, and obviously who the players who play for them and everything like that. And everybody seems to have pretty high morale, like overall, right? You even hear about John Cooper and about how he's getting these awards, right? He won the Jack Adams, but he was also just getting praise for being a good coach in general this year, even before getting the award. And I just remember seeing him talk about how there's so much trust. And we've talked about this on the podcast before about how the trust goes, all the way from the owner down to the GM, down to the coach, down to the players. And I just think it's like interesting to hear consistently players, coaches, the media members, people behind the scenes, everybody talk about how good of an organization it is and how good of an organization it is to work for. And you don't necessarily hear that, I guess, about every organization.
No,
You don't really hear that, especially you hear players come in from other teams and say, yeah, well, I love coming here. Or I really loved moving to here because it was like totally different environment than what I was in, or, when an organization is run well. Again, all these things we could go on, but it's not just something that we're saying because, we're Tampa Bay Lightning fans. It just happens to be that we're part of a really good organization. I think if we were here and we're part of a bad organization, I would hope that we would have the mindset to be like, hey, we know that this and this and this aspect of it are run poorly, right? And we
right.
really wish that we changed this about the organization. We just don't have those things to say as of right now, at least, right?
Right.
So,
As of right now. I
yeah.
often think about that, right? Like with Bolt's Breakdown, I'm trying to create all this content, and I was reflecting on it the other day, but it's like, it's easy for me because we have Nikita Kucherov. Like I run out of things to say. Well, I'll just talk about one of the greatest players to ever play the game, or Andrew
Yeah.
Vasilevsky, or John Cooper. Like the list goes on and on. And if you take away the players or just the star names, like fine, talk about the organization as a whole. Like the AHL and the NHL, we have the longest record of both teams making the playoffs. Like, okay, talk about the arena and just the city. Like we have the longest sellout streak in the NHL. Like it's just really easy to be a
Yeah.
Lightning fan, and we have a great organization. But
Yeah,
maybe,
and you're
I mean,
making it easier, right? Bolt's Breakdown makes it even easier because now we can, oh, hey, what's the coolest thing that's ever happened in the Lightning organization? Well, here's a big set of cool things that have happened, single game records, what we're going to talk about today. But no, I just think it's like it's all positive, right?
right.
Like you said, the city, the arena, the people, organization, everything. So
It's fun.
fantastic.
It's fun. And maybe
Yeah.
there will come a day when it's harder to create the content because I don't know. But for right now, at least, it's awesome and it's great to be a
Yeah.
Lightning fan. I want to ask you, Tommy, before we dive into the single game records, there's 8 players who are eligible for contract extensions right now. And I brought up Leo Carlsson from Anaheim getting offer sheeted because, I mean, that happened because they didn't extend him, right? They got all the way to the end of their contract. He was a restricted free agent, which allows other teams to say, hey, we want to sign you for all this money. If we extend our players, we don't have to get to that situation, which is
hmm
typically what has happened in the past with the Lightning. But 8
Yeah.
players currently are able to be extended. And I want to know which of the 8, besides Nikita Kucherov, is your first priority if you're Julian Brisebois. So the
hmm
8 are Nikita Kucherov. He's top of everyone's list. We'll ignore
Obviously.
him for now. Then there's Gage Gonsalves, Connor Geeky, Emil Lilleberg, Dominic James, Zemgus Girgensons, Jonas Johansson, and Pontus Holmberg. Of those
Ooh.
names that I just listed, is there any that stick out like, hey, we need to extend this guy right now so he doesn't get to the point where another team can offer him an a
Mhm.
contract they can't turn down, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. Name them one more time, and then I think I have an answer.
Sure. So the restricted free agents, that means there's a little bit of power for us, and we can explain that maybe another time. But next year, the restricted free agents will be Connor Geeky, Emil Lilleberg, Gage Gonsalves, and Dominic James. The unrestricted free agents, meaning we have even less power, we got Pontus Holmberg, Zemgus Girgensons, and Jonas Johansson.
Hmm. So I would say out of all of those, I feel like your answer's got to be Gage Gonsalves. I mean, that's
Mine
your
is.
boy,
Yeah,
right?
mine is Gage
Um,
Gonsalves.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Dominic James
Okay.
because you're already gonna pick Gonsalves, so we'll go with that. Um, but I would say Dominic James because many of those guys are role players, right? I think Dominic James has probably the highest ceiling out of the guys that you mentioned. I think Gage Gonsalves also has a pretty high ceiling too. Obviously, you would agree with that.
Yep. Well
But
said. Well said.
I would say that Dom James has a pretty high ceiling. And right now, with a lot of the signings that are happening, right, we're kind of filling in gaps of like, hey, what's gonna help our penalty kill, right? You got Ilya Mikheyev, who we talked about before, who's gonna help with the power play and the defense, got John Carlson. So we have these like little signings that are coming in and we're building people up. I think I would pick Dominic James out of all those people just because he has that high ceiling. And I think we could get him for, a significant amount of years, maybe multiple years to kind of lock him in for a little while to continue to develop him. But he's shown some good promise, especially, towards like right before he got injured. And then when he
Right.
came even back for the playoffs, he was doing pretty well. So that would be my guess, but
That I mean, it's hard to argue with that. I so there's four names that I really want to extend, and honestly, I'm probably not a great general manager because I just lead too much with my heart. But I want to extend Pontus Holmberg, Gage Gonsalves, Dominic James, and Emil Lilleberg for as long as possible. Like extend them 7 years. It doesn't
yeah.
matter because they're all young. Pontus Holmberg's the only one on that list that will be an unrestricted free agent next year. But if you extend them now, really, it doesn't matter what kind of free agent they are because then they're yours for 7 years, right? And this is how you get these value signings. Like if Brandon Hagel went to the open market this year, right? He'd be making so much money. He's a point per game penalty killer that's aggressive on the forecheck and is clutch, right? So people would pay him $12 million, like easy, right? But we have him for 6.5 for the next 6 years because we extended him early. And so that's kind of my thought process is like, yeah, Dominic James has been with us 1 year. And yeah, he started in the AHL and then he kind of blew up and there's still some question marks. But if we believe in the player, right? If we know he can play, then extend him 7 years, give him some money that rewards him now. But by the end of that contract, it's going to be a steal. It's just going to be a steal. I think of like JJ Moser. Like we signed him in December to a contract extension and now he's making $6.75 million for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Like you got it. The value comes in extending early. And I know there's risk with that. And people are going to throw a fit about extending Emil Lilleberg, but I don't know. I think all four of those guys are just Lightning players at their core. And I want to see them play here for the next 10 years.
I think that there's a thing too with contracts that I guess people sort of forget about of like, it doesn't mean that you are married to that player, right? I mean, it really doesn't. Like, there's things that you can do outside of like, if you hate a player and they're sucking and they have 2-3 bad years, you can do something with them. Like, I know that I don't understand all the background logistics, but I do know enough to be like, hey, I thought that guy was signed at, for this team for 8 years. And you're like 2 years in the contract, he like got kicked out. You're like, okay, so there's definitely still some flexibility. But are you getting the value out of that player? And the question, I mean, remains to be seen for many of the guys that you've already mentioned. But I do think that there is some wisdom in at least signing a couple of them, maybe not 4 or 6 or 8, but maybe like 2, to maybe some longer contract extensions. So we'll be interested to see what it looks like. once we get to the new year, I'm just so interested to see how the team actually looks when it's kind of been fleshed out with the free agents, with the signings, with the trades, and the extensions. It'll just be really interesting.
It will be interesting. And hopefully by the time we're on here next, we'll have all these extensions. But I
Yeah,
feel
that'd
like
be
I'm
great.
waiting for I feel like I'm a kid waiting for Christmas, waiting for the Nikita Kucherov extension, waiting to hear Gage Gonsalves as a Bolt for the next 7 years, right? I don't know. JVV
Yeah.
needs to hurry up.
Hey, he's taking his time, okay? He got lots of space, so we'll see. I don't know.
He does. In 2022, the offseason, so 4 years ago, he extended 3 players, Sorelli, Chernak, and Sergachev. So I'm hoping it's another offseason like that where we just get like this little clump of extensions and we can just cheer on the Bolts for the next long time. Some
Yeah.
security for us fans, you know?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Tommy. Let's dive in. So this game that we're gonna play today, so off-season game, it's all about Tampa Bay Lightning single game records.
I've been excited for this one. Like you brought this up. I saw the article come by. I was like, okay, I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to wait, see what happens in the game. But I've been so excited because I love these records. It could happen on any night. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter when it is, against what team. It could happen at any point. And those games are just so cool to see. And I'm excited for these stats. So
We're going to get into it. So how this game is going to work is I'm going to give you a number, okay? This is just me putting in a number, and your job is to say, is the actual record over or under the number I give you? Does that make sense? So there's 20 questions. It'll go quick. We can't cover every record just because there's too many to cover, but we'll get to a lot of them. And if you want more, they're on the blog, okay? And if you have like a question like, I wonder... I tried to think of as many records as I can, so I'm not going to be able to list an example of one I didn't think. But say there's something you're wondering about, like, hey, who's had the most slap shots in a game or something, then just leave me a comment and I'll go ahead and add that to the blog. But there's 40 single game records in the blog. So everything from hits to block shots to penalty minutes to fights, like who's had the most fights in the same game, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about. And like you said, Tommy, it is really exciting because this season, any number of these records could be broken. Right? They could be broken on any night. It does not matter.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. Keep your score.
Ready.
See if you can beat Tommy. And let's begin. So, Tommy, your first question, we're going to talk about the most goals the Lightning have ever scored in a single game. Is it over or under 8 goals?
Ooh. So for these, just to clarify, none of them are the exact number.
None of them are the exact number.
None of them are the exact number. Okay. So it's either going to be over or under 8, not exactly 8.
Correct.
That's what you're saying. Okay. Got it. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and say over 8. I just feel like 9 is extremely doable and has happened before. So I'm going to say over.
Bingo. 9 goals. Right. The last time it's happened was 2020. So January 7th, 2020, we scored 9 goals. But we've actually done it 3 times in franchise history.
Wow.
Yep. We did it once in 2019. We also did it in 2008.
That's a crazy stat line for people who can't see that in the second period of this game against Vancouver, we scored 6 of the 9 goals.
6 in one period.
That's unreal.
Which is also unreal. A single game record. So oddly enough.
Wow. Okay, there you go. All at once. It's interesting that you show this because obviously the World Cup's been going on lately. And when there's those games, if you're watching the group stage games and they're kind of fighting for the draw, it's like a 0-0 draw or like a 1-1 draw or like a 1-0 game. And I'm like, oh, I would just love to see more goals because like it's so exciting. And when it actually happens. And in hockey, when you get these games, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. So I love this one.
There's nothing better. It is. This was Carter Verhaeghe. He's on the stinking South team. We won't get to say their name. He had a hat trick, so it was his first hat trick. So it was a fun game.
Good player though.
All right, you got 1 point, Tommy. Your next question.
Got one.
How many goals allowed is what we're talking about. So is it over or under 9?
Ooh, this is a tough one. See, my thoughts are like at the beginning of the Lightning's existence, I wonder if we ever allowed double-digit goals. And because I can't remember any time in recent history where we have. But but maybe we did earlier on allow 10 goals. And so I'm going to go ahead and say over.
Over is right again. You got 2 points. So
Wow.
you're
Okay, there
right.
you go.
You're spot on with this whole thing because we haven't done it recently, right? It was
Mhm.
back in 1999 was the most recent time we've allowed 10 goals.
Wow.
And we've done it 5 times. And the 4 other times were all before that, right? So
I was on then with we probably did in our history, but maybe not lately.
right. My favorite part about this, and it sucks that we ever allowed 10 goals, but the Bruins, the Sabres, the Panthers, the Canadians, the Red Wings, they've all allowed 10 goals more recently than we have. So just keep that in mind. A little bargaining for when you're fighting with the other fan bases.
There you go. Same thing for this one, though. It's crazy. In the second period, they scored 8 goals. That's unreal.
Unreal.
Yeah.
All right. That's also a record, by the way. So 8 goals against in the same period. Never happened besides this game. 2 points,
tough.
Tommy. Your next one is the highest scoring game. So both teams combined. Is it over or under 15 goals?
Ooh, that's a lot of goals. So highest scoring combined. Most likely that means one team scored at least 7. Another team would have had to score, 8 or 9. That's so many goals. I'm going to say under for this one. I feel like it's like 14 or 13.
That's fair guess. It's over 16 goals. It's only happened once in franchise history, and it was 1992, so our first season in the league. 9-7, we lost. Steve Yzerman, GM who just got fired from the Red Wings, he scored the opening goal in that game. So it's crazy. You talk about shootouts.
Too many goals. That is too many goals. That's so many.
It is.
Literally looks like a football score, like 9-7.
Yeah.
Like a low-scoring football game.
All right, you got 2 points.
Okay, 2 points.
Your next one, most shots in a single game. 77. Is it over or under?
Ooh, see, that's a lot of shots total. This is like shots on goal.
Yep, shots on goal.
And this is total for both teams or just one team?
Just the Lightning.
Oh my goodness, unbelievable number. It's gotta be. If it's over 77, I'll give it to it. But I'm saying under.
It is over 88 shots on net. And it happened in the 5 overtime game in the playoffs, 2020, round 1, game 1 against
that's
Columbus
a good
Blue
exception
Jackets.
that I should have thought of. That is a great exception.
That one's a difficult one because obviously it's like 3 games in 1. But we
yeah,
had 88 shots on net before Braden Point finally won it in 5th overtime.
That's insane. 88 shots is unbelievable. Okay, so I have 2 right now, 2 out of 4, which is not great, but everything so far has been over.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit concerning, but okay, we're good. 2 out of 4.
Let's go to most shots allowed. So over under 65. Now this is the opponent, obviously.
Yes, this is the opponent.
Not the Lightning, just the opponent.
And based on what we just said with the 5 overtimes, that's a lot of shots, but in that amount of time, maybe you could do it. We've had some other long games as well. And if we had 88 shots, significantly less, if it's 65, we're going to go ahead and say over. It feels like it's like high 60s or like low 70s.
Fair guess. It's actually under. 63 shots on net. Same game from the Blue Jackets. Vasilevsky made 61 saves, which is also a single game record. No goaltender has ever made more than 61, and no collective as a team, even if we subbed out goalies, has ever made 61 saves. So
that many saves. Okay, got it.
All right, 2 points, Tommy. We're rolling on. Highest face-off percentage. Is it over or under 80%? As a team. Again, so this isn't single player.
These are really high numbers. Like 80%. Is pretty darn high. I think in any game that we've played 33 years, face-off percentage above 80% feels super doable. But again, super high. We'll go over.
Over. It's under. 70.6% is the highest the Lightning have ever done.
Wow. Okay.
I was kind of surprised with this number, Tommy, because I figured it would be over as well, right? 33 years.
Lopsided.
Right. Maybe you capitalize on an opponent who's all sick, right? They all got the flu or something. But
Yeah.
no. So similar to the story
Not
of
so
last year
much.
when we suck at faceoffs, apparently the Lightning have never been that dominant at faceoffs. The
Yeah.
highest ever, including playoffs, 70.6%.
Got it. So I'm really going for 50% here, because if this is over under, I feel like I have 50-50 chance right now. So hoping to get the next one here.
All right, your
We'll see.
next
I'm
one.
at 2.
Your next one is lowest faceoff percentage, over under 25%.
I mean, this is tough too. So if it would be over 25%, that means that, hey, we did better than we thought. Under, we're not doing so hot. So lowest face-off percentage ever. Gosh, we've had some rough face-off
We've had
games,
some
that's for
horrible
sure.
games, but have they ever been lower than 25%?
25%. I'm gonna go ahead and say over. I'm gonna go ahead
Over?
and say over.
It's under. We had a
That is
21.7%.
terrible.
It was
That is
horrible.
terrible.
Thankfully, it was a very long time ago, 1998, November 4th.
And we won the game?
That's
what?
The craziest part. We beat the Capitals 5-2, and they won nearly 80% of the faceoffs.
And we had how many shots on goal is that? 16, 18 shots on goal?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What an
Unbelievable.
interesting, weird game.
Yep.
Okay. I'm really struggling in this game right now. So
You're locked at 2 points.
I'm still locked at 2 points. Everybody, I hope you have at least 4 or 5. I mean, come on. So still at 2 points.
Tommy, let's talk about most hits in the same game. This is our hits. So if 55, is it over or under? What do you think?
Again, all of these are unreal, but we've had some long games, and so there could definitely be a significant amount of hits. I feel like generally in a game, and correct me if I'm wrong. Well, maybe you can't, because that would lead me on too much. But when you have hits, you have like maybe in the 20s on like a normal game.
That's fair.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's
something
fair.
around the 20s. So having 55 means, wow, this is a physical game. Maybe it was a very long game, but come on, gotta be over.
You're saying over, and you're right. 70 hits.
Let's go.
This happened not in the 5 overtime game, but it did happen in the double overtime game, Eastern Conference Final 2020, Game 5 against the New York Islanders. We ended up losing this game.
Wow.
Oddly enough. But we had 70 hits in the same game. So
that is a lot of hits. And it makes sense, right? I said it got to be a physical game. So, of course, it happened during a playoff game. That makes a lot of sense. But 70 hits, that's unbelievable. So I got 3 points. 3 points.
3 points. All right, Tom.
All right.
Let's keep rolling along. Most hits received. So how many hits has the other team laid on us in a single game? What's the record? 70, over, or under?
Let's go under. I'm going to go
Under?
under 70. Yeah.
75 hits.
Man.
Shocker. This was a gauntlet of a game. It was the same game as when we laid 70 hits. So 145 total hits in this game against the Islanders. Eastern Conference Final, Game 5, 2020.
That's why we lost, right?
5 extra hits.
More hits than we gave, apparently. So
yeah. All right, Tommy, you're at 3 points. Let's talk about blocked shots. Have the Lightning ever blocked more than 50 shots in the same game? That's your question. So over, under 50.
Wow, that's, again, so many. But I am reminded of like some of the games, even just this past playoffs, right? Not even with us, with other teams, where there's so many block shots, because when you hit the playoffs, guys are more willing to get in the lanes, right? They're willing to get hit more.
True.
They're willing to take one for the team. And so 50 block shots doesn't feel that out of range, because shot attempts are so high in playoff games at times. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and say over on this one. It feels like it's over.
I was equally as shocked. 35 is the most block shots we've ever blocked in a game, right? That seems crazy. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that number should be higher, but
that seems low.
The franchise record, including playoffs, including regular season.
Do you know other franchises what their records are for
Yeah,
this?
I'll tell you because the next question is the most shots the other team has blocked. So
Okay.
this
Okay.
this one though, we blocked 35 shots. Also in the 2020 postseason, double overtime
Okay.
game in round 2 against the Bruins. So game 5, this is
Mhm.
actually when we eliminated the Bruins. But we blocked 35 shots and kicked them to the curb, and then we went and faced the Islanders, laying 70 hits. So
Yeah. Holy cow. This is a
2020
physical
postseason, man.
postseason.
They're all
Yeah. Hey, that's what it takes to win, apparently.
It does. It does. And we didn't necessarily see
Absolutely.
that this year, so maybe that missing piece.
That
But
was our problem.
all right,
Okay.
Tommy, next question. Most block shots allowed. So the opponent blocking shots. Is it over or under 50?
We shoot a lot. I'm going to say over.
Over. You're correct. 62 blocked shots. Now, Tommy, you asked about the other team's record. This is the NHL record. No team has ever blocked more than 62 shots in a game. And it took 8 periods for them to do it. 2020, round 1, game 1, Columbus Blue Jackets, they blocked 62 shots. And if you recall, we had 88 shots on net.
Yeah.
That's
that is
what, 150 shot attempts that either hit the net or hit an opponent, not counting the ones that missed the net.
That's so many. I just can't even. I feel like that would be constant shooting, which it probably was. I mean, thinking about that game, it was also a super long game. Basically, like you said, 2.5 games in one. So going to be a lot of records broken.
Unbelievable. That record blows my mind. 62 block shots in the game. All right. Tell me, how many points are you at?
I think I am at 4.
4 points.
I think I'm at 4 points. Yeah.
Your next question. Most penalty minutes for the Bolts in the same game. Is it over or under 100 penalty minutes?
Ooh. Now this is tough because a lot of game misconducts probably in a game that has this many penalty minutes.
To clarify, Tommy, before the preseason does not count. So
yeah.
If you're thinking about the Battle of Florida from this previous
game.
preseason.
Yeah. Can't be that. Be that. But still, in a regular season game, probably not postseason, but who knows? 100 penalty minutes would have to be tons of fighting. Like even if you had a line brawl with 5 guys, 5 times 5, 25. You're only getting, again, we know my math isn't great, but that would only even get you to 25, maybe up to some game misconducts in there. Most penalty minutes, though, in our entire history, 100 feels like not enough. I say it's more. It's over 100.
It is under. It's 97 penalty minutes in the same game. This happened against the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1990. I can't even read that. It's too small. Let me look it up here for you.
98.
98?
Uh-huh.
1998. And obviously, shocker, we lost this game. So
makes perfect sense.
It does.
How many fights were in that game? 97 is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. All right, Tommy. Most times shorthanded. So obviously, sometimes the penalty minutes go up because there's game misconducts. That doesn't necessarily lead to a power play opportunity for the opposition. Your question is, how many times have the Lightning been shorthanded in the same game? Is it more or less, over or under 10 shorthanded instances?
Ooh, okay. So I think it's I have a gut reaction. And the reason is because we've committed a lot of penalties before. And there have been games where it's like back to back to back to back. We have 4 or 5 back to back. And so I believe that it's like 11 or something like that. I think it's more than 10. So I'm going to say over 10.
More than 10, Tommy. You have your 5th point. It is 13 times shorthanded.
All right. Okay.
That's 13, unbelievable. I can't even fathom giving a team 13 power play opportunities in the same game.
Do you know how many of those we killed off?
In that game, we killed off 10 of them.
I mean, that's,
it's all right. Solid, but
that's pretty solid.
There's if you recall, last season, we had 10 power play opportunities for the Panthers. We gave them 10 power play opportunities. We killed off 9 of them, so we only allowed 1 power play goal. But
it's pretty good.
And that kind of makes sense when it's the Panthers. But I mean, this one was against the Flyers. Like, why are we giving the Flyers 13 power plays? It feels excessive, but
That is a lot of power plays.
again,
So, well,
33 years, a lot can happen across
yeah,
the Lightning's history. So
that's fair. All right, so 5 points.
5 points, Tommy. How many power play chances in the same game for the Bolts? Is it
It's
over
gotta
or
be
under 10?
gotta be over. Gotta be over.
6th point. Again, it's 13 power play chances that the Bolts have had, which is
Yeah.
just unbelievable to me. And it was only a 3-2 game. This happened
And
in
we lost.
2002. We lost in overtime to the Blackhawks
Oh my goodness.
when we had 13 man advantage chances.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Unbelievable.
crazy.
All right, 6 points for Tommy. Most power play goals in the same game, Tommy. Is it over or under 3?
Ooh, well, I just feel like under 3 is so low. Like
For a franchise
for a
record, right?
franchise record for only having 2 power play goals. So I'm definitely going to say over. It's got to be like 5 or 6 or something like that.
Bingo. 5.
There
5
you
power
go.
play goals in the same game is the franchise record, which we've accomplished a couple times.
So
We've
that
done
gives
it
me
twice. We did it in 2019, which is the most recent one, and we also did it in 1995. So
okay. I mean, it's a lot of power play goals, but I was like over under 3. Wow, that would be tough. That would be low. So
right. Kucherov had 4 points in the most recent example, and all 4 were on the power play. So that guy knows how to control the ice when he has the man advantage,
absolutely
obviously.
does. Absolutely.
7 points for you, Tommy. We're going to move into some individual single game records. So you don't got to
okay.
guess the player. You're still just guessing over under, but I'll tell you who did it as we talk about the record. So
Okay. Sounds good.
most goals by one player in the same game. Is it over or under 5?
Ooh, so was it a double hat trick or was it only 4? This is tough because if you had asked me over under 4, I would have said over because I think 5 would have been the answer. That would have just been my guess. But in our entire franchise history, I just feel like we had a double hat trick in there, man. So I'm going to go ahead and say over.
You're saying over. It is 4. The most anyone has
Wow.
ever scored is 4. Steven Stamkos was the most recent guy to do it, but Marty St. Louis and Chris Kontos did it back in the day. So
It
3
just doesn't
players.
feel like enough. It doesn't feel like enough.
That's
you
what I
know?
thought. Stammer, he's like one of the greatest goal scorers in NHL history, but he only ever scored 4 in the same game. So
Okay, how many do we know who scored more? Like how many goals people have scored in a single game?
you're talking like NHL history?
Yeah.
I don't have that off the top of my head, but I assume it's Wayne Gretzky. But
I mean, probably something like that. So, okay. So I'm staying at whatever I have, 7 points or something.
Yeah.
6 or 7 points.
Stammer did this in 2023, and if you recall, this was against the Oilers when Vasilevsky made 53 saves. So the Oilers had 57 shots on goal in this regular season game, and Vasi kind of shut the door on them. But you see 4 goals in the same game, it kind of feels like the goaltender had an issue. But the media gave Vasi the first star of the game. So
wow,
that was a crazy game in 2023.
That is a crazy game. And looking at it, seeing that we have 7 goals on 24 shots, like, oh man, they had a rough game.
Yes, yeah. All right, Tommy. What about most shots by one Lightning player in the same game? Is it over or under 15 shots on net?
Again, could be a crazy 5 overtime game where somebody had tons of shots. I'm going to say under, though.
Wow.
Under 15.
You led me the other way, but you're right. It's only 14 in the same game is the record. It's held by John Tucker, who did this in the first season with the Bolts. First season in franchise history, so 1992. December, what does that say, 16th?
Yeah.
John Tucker did it. 14 shots on net. Holds the franchise record.
Crazy. Still has it.
Still has it. No player has ever tied it.
Wow.
All right, Tommy. You've got 7 points now. We're talking about hits.
I don't know what I have. We're going to have to go back and figure it out. I just forgot. Lost count. So
we'll give an updated total at the end, though. But most hits, Tommy, in the single game, is it over or under 10?
I mean, most hits, there have been some physical games. Like you said, we had a game where we had 70 hits or whatever. I just feel like it's got to be more than 10. Some players gone more than 10. Over.
You're right. Barclay Goodrow did it. He had 12 in game 1 of the Stanley Cup final in 2020.
Wow, there you go. Big hitter.
Holds the record. 8 points for you, Tommy. Next question. Most shorthanded goals in the same game. Over or
Mm.
under 3?
It's definitely under. Definitely
Quick
under.
answer. I thought it was unbelievable that Marty St. Louis even had 2 shorthanded goals in the same game. But
Yeah,
he does. He's the only one in franchise history to do it. But you're right. It is under 3.
there it is.
All right, 9 points for you, Tommy. This
Okay.
Marty St. Louis did that in 2003. So most time on ice, over or under 60 minutes.
Has to be an overtime game. Has to be a decently long overtime game. Probably a defenseman, most likely, based on that. Maybe like a Vic Hedman or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and say over.
Over. It's under 57-38 time on ice, and it happened in a long game. The same game we've been talking about, 5 overtimes, 2020 against Columbus Blue Jackets. That's the franchise record. No players ever played more than 57-38 in a game, which makes sense considering the game is only 60 minutes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I get half a point for guessing that it was Victor Hedman, but maybe not for the actual over-under. So
You were impressive to get Victor Hedman.
yes.
All right, Tommy, that's the entire game. So you got 9 points. That's not bad, considering most of those are just toss-ups. But
Yeah,
I'm sure there are people out there that got all of them right because they just know the history book like the back of their hand. And if you're one of those people, leave me a message. I want to talk to you. I could probably learn a lot from you. But
yeah,
regardless of the score, the reality is some of those records are insane, right? Like they are just
crazy.
bonkers. And the cool part about it is it can be broken literally at any point. So
yes.
opening night, when we play in 26-27, I hope we shoot 89 shots on net, break the record. We'll come back and revisit it when we do.
Yeah. I love these. Like I said, like you said, any night this could happen. I think that's a lot of the fun parts about sports. Is it's so unpredictable. Anything could happen. Anybody could do something crazy or special, whether it's Stamkos scoring 4 goals or Marty scoring 2 shorthanded. Like anything could happen. Hits, fights, all this kind of stuff. And that's what makes it exciting and brings you back to want to watch it. And especially, I've just always been an avid supporter of like, I want to watch this sport live because I want to see it happen right in front of me. It's just really exciting. So yeah, although I didn't do great, I think I did okay. And we'll see how other people did too on this over under. So
yep, we will see. One last plug for the blog. If that was interesting for you, the blog has so much more. So like we talk about 88 shots in that crazy long game, but maybe you're wondering like, well, what's just the regular season record, right? Not a game that went to 5th overtime. And that's in the blog too. So all of these things are in the blog. There's way more records in the blog. Like what's the most game misconduct somebody's gotten in the game? And believe it or not, Darcy Tucker got 3 game misconducts in the same game. So there's like all these random records and things that don't make sense. And they're all in the blog. And there's a ton of links for you to click and further explore. There's videos, there's pictures, there's stats. Really, it's fun to look through. It's not meant to be something you just read, but it's something you can go back to as we watch the games in this upcoming season and say, hey, what was the record for most hits? Oh, yeah, Barclay Goodrow did it, 12. So
yeah,
that's the plug for the blog. Cool. Tommy, let's end our episode as we always do. We're going to draw from the ThunderBucket. So before we draw, if you have an idea for the ThunderBucket, go ahead and submit it at that link above Tommy's face. And we'll put it in the bucket, leave your name, and we can go ahead and shout you out on the podcast. But these are any prompts related to the Lightning or hockey or Tampa. Just a fun way to end the game. So, Tommy, we're not in person, so I will draw again from the ThunderBucket in the Hagel's Bagels bucket hat.
Yes, let's
see
do
what our prompt is today.
What do we got for today?
All right. This is a fun one. It's simple. Is the Lightning logo elite tier, mid tier, or needs a chaotic redesign? And there's no name on this. So, again, as you submit them, leave your name. We'll shout you out. But, Tommy, I'll let you answer this first. Where does the Lightning logo rank for you against all the other NHL logos?
Yeah. This is tough. So, if I'm being honest, I would say that the Tampa Bay Lightning logo, as it is right now, is mid-tier. is mid tier. It really is.
I had a
I
feeling you were
mean,
gonna say that.
I know you did. So I'm wearing the polo right now, right? I got the logo on it. For those who aren't looking at it, hopefully you're familiar with the Lightning logo. And it's very simple. It's not much to it. It's cool. It's very, stylish, but there's not a lot of pizzazz to it. And
Fair.
you know what I kind of think about when I think about our logo is this whole thing that's happened in the past maybe 10, 15 years where companies have rebranded, redesigned to go from more eccentric or kind of different type of logos to these very simplified type of things. Like I'm thinking of things like Burger King or when Cracker Barrel like tried to do it. And there's countless other types of things, right? You even see that with the logos that are happening in sports leagues as well, right? Of like the Miami Dolphins, I'm thinking about their logo redesign. So many others that have redesigned and remarketed and rebranded their logos and all that kind of stuff and their brands to be this more modern and simple thing. I just think that it loses its character. I mean, if you look back at our logo in the past, it was this, blocky bolt thing and very like 90s. And I just feel like that looks so cool and it looks so like, yeah, retro or 90s or whatever you want to call it. But nowadays it's very, simple and marketable and easy. But as far as logos go, it's pretty mid tier. And compared to like a San Jose Sharks logo, like that thing
Wow.
is really cool, man. So that's
Wow.
just my thoughts.
I'm not going to kick you off the podcast for that, but we'll see what the reaction is for you calling the Lightning logo mid tier. Crazy. In
It's
all
just a lightning
seriousness,
bolt with a circle, dude. Like, come on. How can you? I
in all
mean, what are we
seriousness,
saying here?
you're right. I mean, it is. I would say it's mid tier as well. But I am a fan of the modern, like sleek design thing that this culture is going to. It's wild that you said all those brands off the top of your head too. We'll have to
Yeah,
circle back on the Cracker Barrel thing, but
I will get there.
the Lightning logo is mid tier. It's close to elite tier for me just because I prefer that, but I just recognize that some people don't prefer the modern, sleek design, like strip it of all of its character. And so I do think there's just better logos out there. And I agree, San Jose Sharks have an elite logo. Like their logo is super cool. I'm not sure the Lightning don't need a chaotic redesign for sure, by no means, but I would like to see more of that character come back. And I'm sure as culture shifts, we'll see it come back one day. But
Yeah, yeah.
before
Well,
you
that's
end,
why we
Tommy,
have.
Cracker Barrel, they went back to their normal logo, right?
No, they did, but that was a
Okay.
whole bit, right? Where they
Yeah,
went to this like simplified logo, and then everybody got mad at them, so they went back to this other logo, and like
right.
that's a whole nother discussion. But I do
We'll
think that
talk about
they're.
that on the Cracker Barrel breakdown podcast.
Yeah, we will next week.
Yeah. All right, Tommy, you got any other thoughts as we close this?
I don't think so. I think we'll leave those to the next podcast. I'm excited because this week it's funny. I was actually just thinking about it and talking with Sarah about how it's like I'm ready for the season to start. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I just really want to watch some hockey. Because I'm looking at like what sports are on and like the World Cup's happening. Yeah, that's exciting, but like I just crave. Can I just turn my hockey on like every other night? I can watch a game. Like I'm ready for that season. So
That makes
I'm
two of
excited.
us. That
Yeah,
makes two of us. We're almost there,
I,
a couple months. To,
I know.
today, as this podcast releases, the NHL schedule will be released. So we'll at least be able to start planning which games we go to. Just looking forward to it. Start counting down the days. But
Yeah.
that's going to do it for this podcast. As a reminder, Bolts Breakdown exists for Tampa Bay Lightning fans. It is by a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Really, the goal is just to help you be a Lightning fan. It's to help Bolts Nation. So there's a blog that gets sent out every single Monday. That's kind of this record book that we talked about, or maybe it's a story on John Cooper. It's interesting, and if you don't like to read, then there's this podcast that's for you. Ultimately, the goal is just to help you follow the Bolts. Best organization in the league, lots to cheer for, and that's why Bolts Breakdown exists for Bolts Nation. But that's all we got for you. We will see you next week. Thanks for watching, and go Bolts.